Despite all the fear and FUD being thrown around about an epic market crash by expert investors, the stock market continues to roar and soar higher, right? So this is something that a lot of investors are overlooking, and may they be right or wrong, it's something to be aware of. Yet the opportunities, regardless of which way things go, they will always be there, because in the correction that we had earlier this year, it started the opportunities for all the runs that we've seen now. And this whole entire run from last year to this year in this crash has all begun in that crash as it pulled back and started to push back up. And you could see it here in the charts, and it just continues to go higher. Now, trying to time the market is not something I would ever try to do. That is like playing guessing game, but preparing for it is something that I always like to do, and I always state to do. It's all about being aware and prepared and not calling yourself a bear, okay? I want you guys to be aware of that. There's a big difference between a bear and someone that's prepared and aware. But let's talk about CLOV stock, Clover Health Investments. But before we talk about it and we look at this chart and what's going on with it, because it has consolidated for some time through all the volatility, I want to share with you guys the opportunities I mentioned this morning over at the Discord. And if that's something that interests you and you want to become part of, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is down below in the description to the Discord. And by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors all looking to learn and grow together. So DIDI, mentioned it, gave a 10 to 15% jump back on July 1st. That's the last day I traded last week. And MEDS was a home run for the day pretty early in the pre-market, and KTRA gave us a nice jump of 10 to 20%. So let's look at those charts and how they played out. So here we are with KTRA. Mentioned it in the pre-market, jumped up a little bit, gave a 5 to 10% jump, pulled back down, and took off for a highest point of 18% plus. And we talked about MEDS pretty early on in the pre-market, close to the $6 range, and took off. Actually consolidated twice, right, with slight pullbacks, and took off higher every single time and gave a highest point of 50% plus. And even after the bell, it gave a nice little pullback and jump of 10 to 15%. If you guys want to know what stocks I watch daily, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is down below in the description to the Discord, and by joining, you'll become part of a growing community of investors, and we look forward to having you join us. So, Clover Health Investments, CLOV stock. This stock ran up, took off, and pulled right back down to the $11 mark, jumped up again, hit highs here of 15 and some change, and has pulled back down into the $11 mark, okay? So, I have some things to share with you guys about this stock, and I find it always interesting below $10. And I've stated that since way back here. I stated it around these levels. And I talked about Clover Health Investments over at the Patreon as well in my weekly watch list way back when it was at $7. Now, did I know it could short squeeze this high or jump up this high? No. No one saw that coming or could predict that. But you can prepare for it by catching the best price available at the time or preparing your position accordingly, right? That's what it's all about, to maximize profits and minimize losses. Now, in those times, it gave a nice jump to $11 and some change. So multiple 20 to 30 and 40% jumps happened in that time. It pulled back down to the 6s and 7s again. I talked about it again near these levels. And here you are seeing it take off to the highest point of $28. So that was a phenomenal run. It pulled back down, and the question is, could this continue to go higher? A lot of investors think that without a short squeeze, this stock, Clover Health Investments, can actually go back to these levels or even past them. And with a short squeeze, even go higher and beyond that. But in this consolidation here, even though it's kind of volatile and not so perfect, there has been some strength. As long as this doesn't break through $11, I think there's some strength here. And if you think about it, right here and right here, if this consolidates and starts to pick itself back up again, That right there is called a double bottom, okay? So if this was to form and start pushing up, this could be a double bottom, and we'll have to see if there's real strength in this stock to stay around these levels and then work its way back up to newer highs and new resistance levels. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen these articles or know about it. I would love for you guys to, affirm this down below or challenge this or do some further digging on it and come back and comment down below and actually, reaffirm me on this. But Clover Health Investments has had an opportunity or is going to officially join into one of the Russell indexes. If it does, it's not as big as the S&P, it's not as big as the Dow, but money's going to be flowing into it through these indexes and through institutional ownership going up due to this. And that's a big milestone for a stock that is actually recently going public in the last several months and year, and then also a company that is still growing. So that's a big indicator of growth and potential for it to actually make that move. And it's also going to allow more money to flow into it. So as this is pulling back, if it breaks through the 11s, that will mean some sort of weakness, and we'll have to watch between $11 and $9, $8, and see what's going on within that channel, right? Within this area, and see if it breaks through it or if it stays right through it on the sideways movement until it comes right back up. We'll have to see for that. And if this Russell information of getting added to one of the Russell indexes is true and is bound to happen, this stock doesn't mean it can go up, but it's going to have potential to keep moving up over time, okay? And it's going to give it some type of support at some point. And not only that, analysis ratings point this one to the upside as well, since it was at 7, since it was at 10, since it was even way back here when it ran up to $16 and the whole entire SPAC merger was happening and stuff. Since those levels, right, before the Hindenburg research attack, making it go lower, there has been some analysis ratings pointing to the upside, and they still do. And they also got some positive catalysts with the Medicaid and Medicare information. If you look that up, it'll give you some insight on some of the great things that were happening in the last 3 months for Clover Health Investments. Now, at these levels, we are seeing weakness. We want to see this above $11. If it breaks through it, you want to watch between $11 and $9, how it's doing in that channel. And for those of you that know this already or want to go ahead and take that extra step to look it up and challenge me or reaffirm me or piggyback off of what I stated, please comment down below if this is getting added onto the Russell Index, because that's going to be a big move for the company itself overall in the markets and everything that has to do with this company moving forward. Okay, so I would love for you guys to do that. And also, I look forward to seeing your thoughts down below on Clover Health. How do you feel about it? Because I know a lot of people are expecting another short squeeze. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.